Well guys, if it's not one thing, it's another. Kevin here with Kevin's Way Works. So I was sitting over on my couch over here, and out of the corner of my eye, I see something flickering. I go ahead and look over, and this is what I find. Here's Miss Lola. Hey, sweet girl. Hey, sweet girl. Got your baby. Where's your other babies? Huh? You don't know? I'll get him for you. All right, guys, there's Miss Lola. This is her bed. This is her place. She likes to hang out here. Hey, sweet girl. All right, I hope that picked it up, but I think it's safe to say that this flickering has nothing to do with the power being supplied to the arrow. It's got to be the Z-Wave controller that's inside of it. So let's go ahead, get this thing over to the table. We'll open it up, and we'll see if we can figure out what's wrong. All right, guys, so I have this up on the kitchen counter. Don't tell my wife. Just don't tell her. So I don't recall how this was put together. I did it so long ago. I think this is just a panel on top of wood that's just screwed in. I think both sides come off the same way. Not 100% sure, but we are about to find out. So I have a whole bunch of screws to unscrew, so I'm going to unscrew them all. We're going to see if we can pull that panel out. And then you'll be able to see how it was constructed and make one of your own if you want. All right, those are all out. I'm just going to remove them so we don't lose them. All right, there's all that. Let's see. Let's see what we can do here. I think I might undo some of these side screws a little bit. This was all done on a Harbor Freight metal bender. So I made this little custom stand here, just painted it black so you couldn't see it, just to give it some support. Originally the plan was to hang it on the wall somewhere with a mount back here. And that's why the cable's so short, but I decided against that. Last one. Oh, careful, don't be scratching things. So there's the stand. That's just 1/2-inch metal tubing welded together with some, I don't know, what is that? It's not even 1/8 of an inch metal plate. So that's all that is, and then there's some little rubber feet. You put it on the bottom of furniture to protect your floor, stuff like that. Oh yeah, guys, I'm not sure if we're gonna be able to get that out. Maybe if we pull it out this way. So I need to set something underneath this as I go. Hey, tell you what, don't tell my wife. I'm going to use some cooking utensils here. This thing's in there. I don't want to come out. I do have a puller you can screw into the holes. And of course I don't know where that is. I think we may be putting too much pressure on it by having this. I think we do. Yeah, there we go. I think we got it. Yes, guys, we got it. We did it. Awesome. All right. Here we go. Basically what I did is I used lamp cord and these bulb sockets. Let me go get one. I'll show you what they look like. All right, so there's what we have. This is an RS-2 1205 E12 bulb socket. And it screws in with this little nut right here, which I can't figure out how to get it to go on. So you screw that nut on like that, and you screw it through, the wood or the metal, and it holds it together nice and tight. And then you just use a wire nut and you twist them all together. And that's what we did. So you can get those on Amazon. Just look up E12 RS 1205 bulb socket and you'll find them. And so as you can see, these are all wired up in parallel, just like you would do any bulb socket. So that means, so each one of these bulbs is 5 watts max. I only run them at like 20%. So it's only like 28 watts or something like that. If I run them at 40%, I think it was 58 watts, 56, 57 watts. So they don't use a lot of power, which is excellent. Let me get you guys some more lighting in here because the sun's going down behind some clouds. Okay, there you go. So as I was saying, they don't use a lot of energy. They don't get very hot. You can touch them with your hand. You can't even feel any heat. They don't use any more than 5 watts, and that just keeps everything within the specifications of the wiring, and you're basically not going over the amperage for your circuit, and you're not going to start a fire. So all this stuff is either ETL or UL listed. I don't know what these sockets are. They may not be. The wiring is. The sockets themselves probably are not. Not 100% sure about that. But everything is nicely wired together. I said lamp cord, existing wire. We just used wire nuts because it was really easy to do that way. So everything then just comes over to this point right here. And we have this lamp. Actually, this isn't a lamp plug. This one is not polarized, so this can actually go either way. To technically do it properly, if you want to match up to what they have here and what the bulb would normally do, you probably should have a proper polarized plug. This is a ZW3103 Z-Wave module. And this one's, I don't know, 10 years old probably. So I did buy a Leviton branded one. It should be here. I think it said it was supposed to be here today, but Amazon hasn't delivered yet. So I haven't looked to see if it's out for delivery or not. But let me get you an up-close look at how this is constructed, and you'll see how easy it is. You can do one of these yourself. I drew it up in SketchUp first, so I had the exact specifications. I then bought some, I want to say, either 2-foot by 3-foot sheets, or I don't think they were 3x4. I think they were 2 by 3-foot sheets just of sheet metal, just from the hardware store. I cut them on a throatless shear, so it's basically a shear that you bolt down to a workbench, and then it has a big log handle, and it has a throatless cutting head on it. And basically you just pull the handle down and you run your metal through it. In the description, I'll put a link. So I was able to get really nice cuts. I did sand them down really good, so the edges were rounded instead of sharp. And I have also from Harbor Freight, one of their spot welders. And so I used the spot welder on, there's no joint, there's a joint here, and each joint is spot welded with one of those spot welders. It's only the 120 volt version, it's not the 240. And it works perfect for something like this. To get this patina, I think it's water, vinegar, salt, maybe a couple other things mixed in the water. First you have to clean it real good because this metal does have a grease on it, or an oil on it, so it's easy to form. And they ship it like that. They don't clean it for you, and it also keeps it from getting rusty. So clean it real good. I use brake parts cleaner, cleaned it real good, and then I took that solution, sprayed it on it, and I put it in the position it would be in when it was hung, so everything went the same direction. And so it just looks like water ran down it. And then either let that sit, and if you want to accelerate it, you can take a heat gun and you can heat it up in various places while you're doing it, and it will give you a neat looking design. So I've made several of these, not necessarily an arrow, but I made letters for last name, first letter of the last name for a bunch of family members. And then I got more requests from other people who wanted the same thing. So I made them, and I did each one different. Each one has a different color, a different wood face. The metal is patinaed differently with different chemicals. You'll have to go online and look them up because I can't remember. One of the coolest ones I used is a solution that you use for etching copper circuit boards. That gave the coolest colored effects. Anyway, that's how we get that cool patinaed look to it. It is actually done naturally with chemicals and water and salt and all that stuff. Alrighty, so now let me get you to where you can see what the inside of this looks like a little better. So here's up close of the wiring there, and then here's the construction on the inside. So really all it is 1/2-inch plywood that I had from a shelving project for a closet. And I just used the angles from the SketchUp, and I cut everything to exact SketchUp dimensions, and then glued and stapled. Everything's stapled really. So there is glue, there's staple. The staples help hold it together so the glue can cure. These you have to be careful of because they have a thin veneer, so the glue really needs a little help with staples. So that's how that's all put together. And this is actually the other side. So really it's only like, what, 3 inches of wood that's shaped into an arrow. And that's it. And then I wired up a receptacle inside of it. So this main wire right here came from it's a computer wire from some computer equipment. I have hundreds of those cables. And I used this type of device. I can't think of what the name of it is now, but it has a little bit of rubber inside of it, so as you tighten it down, it's a waterproof connector through surface connector, and it's supposed to keep water out. But I thought it would look neat on this, so I used that. And then there's the rest of it. So if you want to make your own, it's really not that difficult. You do need some special tools, like I said, but that is it. So the problem we're having, I'm pretty sure it's this. To prove it's this, I'm going to plug this into the wall, and then we're going to plug it in directly, like so. We won't even need this inside anymore because we're going to remove this. It's not going to run from the inside anymore. The new device is going to be external to it. Oh, and you need a lamp module. So this one has a receptacle that's always on, but on this side, this is a lamp module that's dimmable. So you need something like that if you want to be able to dim it. Or I actually have done this on one of the letters I made. I have a slider on the back. So actually, no, it's on the back side of the wood. So the back side is not lit on that letter, and so the slider's on there. So it just plugs in to a Z-Wave, actually I think it's Zigbee controller, and then you just adjust the brightness with a slider. So it's not adjustable through software. All right, so I'm gonna plug this in. I'm gonna get an extension cord because this one's not gonna be long enough to reach it. And we're gonna turn it on. We're gonna see if it flickers with this, and then we're gonna eliminate this and turn it on and see if it no longer flickers. It only flickers for like the first 15 minutes that it's on, and then it stops, but I still don't feel comfortable having something like that on all the time. So these are on from 8 a.m. to midnight. 3-prong power strip will work. So I'm going to flip this over so you can see the lights. Don't you fall. Don't you fall. Woo, carefully, I don't want to scratch anything. All right, so this is going to be full blast. Bright as it goes. And if we get a flicker, that means we have a wiring issue. If we don't get a flicker, let's go ahead and turn some lights off. So normally it flickers within a few seconds, and then it just flickers nonstop for several minutes before it stops. So far so good. We're going to give it about 30 seconds. Kevin's horrible elevator music. All right, I think that's close enough to 30 seconds. So as you can see, everything was fine. Let me go see if my lamp module's here. Probably the easiest way is to check the app. Arriving, oh my goodness! Of course, today's going to be the day where it says it arrives between 7:15 p.m. and 10 p.m. That's okay, we can still get everything accomplished we need to accomplish. And I'm also going to lengthen this cord because that cord's too short. So we're going to go ahead, we're just going to chop the end of this off. We're going to open that up. We're going to wire this into that outlet. And that also gives us a nice long cord, so I don't have to use an extension cord anymore. The fun part's going to be getting this off at an angle. I don't know how I got it in the first place. I must have used a stubby screwdriver, which I do have. But I have one of those angled adapters you can put on a drill. I do have this little stubby screwdriver. Hard to do this with a Band-Aid on your middle finger. I cut my middle finger on a aluminum can yesterday. Gotta have a Band-Aid on so it doesn't bleed everywhere and get infected. All right, guys, there it is. Be safe, make sure you have everything unplugged. Let's go ahead and open this up. All right, so just like that. To remove this cable, I'm just going to back that out a little bit. Actually, I'm going to remove it entirely. And then we're going to pull this through, just like so. Save it for another project. We will reuse that even though it's not going to really do anything anymore. I'm just going to cut this off flush. These aren't really expensive. They're just little cheap things, and it does have a little child-proof type cover, but we're going to cut it off at the end and throw the end away because I'll never use that for anything. So first things first, let's put this rubber grommet on here. Make sure you have it going the correct way. First things first, let's put this metal on and then put the rubber grommet on, like so, because I did it wrong the first time. Feed her on through, like so. Now this is, like I said, this isn't going to do anything. If you want to, you can 3D print something to fit, but like you can see, it's not going to do anything anymore. What you can do is you can put a knot in your cord. I'm not going to do it, but you can just tie a knot in it, like so. I don't like doing that. I'm going to put a zip tie around it once I have everything in place. So I'm going to separate these two. I usually just can bend it like so and then pull them apart. Sometimes it won't work, but in this case it is working okay. Now I think the neutral should be ribbed. It is. And then the other side is smooth. So this is our neutral. Before we do that, let's put it through the box. I still may need an extension. That's not a very long cord. Let's just strip both of these. Take care not to cut all your wires while you're doing it. So like I said, smooth is hot, neutral is not. And I'm just going to take the neutral wrap it around. Let me make it a little longer. Neutral's white or silver. I think I had this one used before, but that's okay. Now when you tighten these down, you want them facing the direction that the screw is going to turn. And that way it helps to pull itself tight around the screw. If you have it the other way, it's going to just try to push it out as it tightens it. Don't over tighten it. They are actually quite strong, amazingly. But if you do over tighten it, you will strip it. And remember we had neutral on this side, so put it back in the same way. Now another way I could have done this is just wired it directly to these nuts. The reason I didn't do that is because these nuts are already getting close to their limit, and I didn't want to have to cut all of these zip ties and undo everything, and then it's perfectly fine the way we're doing it. So if we ever do want to put this back inside for whatever reason, we still can. And of course the other screw went underneath the plastic, but I was able to get it, so we are good. Let's go get this stinker screwed in. Luckily these are easy to screw in. Some of these plastic wall boxes are like ridiculous to screw in. All right, let's get our cover on. Alrighty, what in the world? What in the world, guys? All right, anyhow, we got it. I'm gonna go get a zip tie just to help keep that from getting yanked. All right, here's our zip tie. Gonna put it right about there. Don't have to pull it super hard. There's going to be enough friction where that's not going to move. So that's good. Let's go ahead and cut this off. If you want to, you can put one there too. That way it can't go be pushed back inside. I'm not going to do that. Alrighty, guys. Okay, remember, hot is the smooth side, and we have an H on ours. There's that. Make sure you don't leave any tools inside of it. You'll never find them. All right, let's just double check everything. Everything looks good. Everything looks good. Now, right before we do anything else, let's plug her back in and let's make sure she works. So now we are just going to be plugged straight in. Oh, another check too is we'll plug this into the wall and we'll make it see if it flickers. Let's turn the lights off. Turn the lights off. And I don't know if you noticed this. This is 100%. When I had this at 100%, it was only like 40% maybe. It was nowhere as bright as it's supposed to be. So definitely something bad in there. All right, so there's that. Let's go ahead and plug this guy in, and we'll just make sure it still flickers. So we're gonna verify our work. La la dee da, la dee da. Let's hope it still flickers. If it doesn't, then Kevin's not gonna be happy. Oh, it's gonna be like my Challenger shake video all over again. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go back and check out my last two Challenger videos. Yeah, it's quite interesting what I found. Oh, come on. Are you seriously not gonna flicker? How long did it take before? A minute, two, before it started flickering? Are you serious? Oh, there it goes. There it goes. Guys, I was beginning to doubt myself. So there's the flicker. She's definitely broken. Alrighty, let's go ahead and get this back. Actually, before we put it back together, let's just plug it in one last time to make sure it lights up. All right, looks good. Let's go ahead and put it back together. Gently, carefully. Just like that. I don't know where I have that little pieces, guys. See if I can find it for you. I used to have it up here, but yeah, see? 15-year-old memory got it right. Actually, I don't think these are 15 years old, but check out these little, I 3D printed these. So these are E12 3D printed devices. So you can take them and you can screw them in here. You just got to get them to line up properly. So you screw them into there, and now you have something to grip and pull onto. So you can put a couple up there, a couple down here, and you can use that to pull it out, put it back in. And that's just 3D printed with PLA. That's all that is. And zip tie through the little holes so you have something to hold on to. All right, there's our screws. Let's go ahead and get those in. I'm going to hand start them. And if you want to be fancy, you can get a magnet. You can magnetize your bit. Get yourself a strong magnet. Magnetize your bit. And then that way it's easier to install. This is just from an old hard drive. Super strong little magnets. You can see there's a little seam right here because, like I said, it was only 3 feet long, so I had to have it a little longer. I think I just got it real close, and I used the spot metal tool to just melt them together. So those are just barely melted together in like 4 places, but it is sufficient. Alrighty. I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna turn the, I don't know what you call that, the torque release dial, so we don't strip these as we're screwing them in. Alrighty. There it is. Let's plug it back in. 100%. Beautifuls. There it is. So, all right, guys. Once that lamp module gets here, we'll go ahead and program it. Add it. It's a Zigbee. I hope it's a Zigbee. I can't remember now if it's a Zigbee. I think it's a Zigbee module, and we'll go ahead and add that to my Home Assistant, and then we will replace that module with this new one, and it all should be good to go. So, alrighty, guys and and gals, there it is. Leviton Decora Smart Zigbee Plug-in Dimmer. Let's go ahead and open it up, see what we've got here. Oh, okay, it looks like it has a little pull tab right here you can pull. Alrighty. Let's go ahead. Oh dear. Oh dears. Not only does it have pull tab, but it has little plastic things on it. So let's go ahead and get those. Don't tell my wife I used her knife to do that, and then I put it straight back in the drawer. All right, let's see what we have. I know, it's not very interesting, but hey, it is what it is. So there it is, Leviton. Little lamp module. So basically all it's really good for is dimming a lamp. So it'll plug in like that. I guess it has a little indicator light. I don't know why they don't really need it, but it has a little indicator light. So I'm gonna go ahead, we're gonna plug it in over here on the side. Actually, I'm gonna bring it up here so you can see it. Let me get that extension cord again. Actually, I'll get a different extension cord because the other one I moved somewhere downstairs, and it's gonna be a kind of a long walk to get it. So we'll plug this guy in. Ooh, it's hard to plug in. All right, I hope you guys can see that. So I guess the flashing means that it's in pairing mode. I know it's kind of, I mean, to me it looks like it's way far away in the camera. And this camera's not really made for zooming in. It's more for outdoor, you know, riding around your bike or in a park. It's just an action camera, but it works pretty well for what I'm doing. All right, guys. Hopefully there's no glare in the screen. So we have Zigbee. I'm gonna go to configure. I'm gonna add a device. And so it's right now, it's scanning the airwaves. Oh, it found it. It's interviewing it. It says it's a Leviton. Change the device name. I'm gonna call this, for right now, I'm gonna call it Arrow Light. I'm just going to call it Arrow Light 2. Area, it doesn't really matter. You can put an area if you want. We can put front door. How about that? The device is ready to use. Light dot arrow light 2 underscore light. So right now it's off. Okay. There's nothing plugged into it. So what we're going to have to do is plug our light into it, see what we have. All right, so plugged in, shows off. I'm gonna turn it on. 53%, 100%, 25%. We'll probably keep it about 20, 25%, I can't remember for sure. And then you can also just power it on and off. So if you're 100%, you can do off, on. I don't know why I went to 45, let's see. 100% off. Turn it back on. It should go to the last. I think it's because I interrupted it part way. So anyway, it looks to be working beautifully. So now we'll go ahead and set it back up in the front room. But now I can replace the old arrow lights with this new arrow light. And we'll give it basically the same name and everything. And we'll just remove the old device from Home Assistant entirely and throw that one away. So that is how you do it. Our arrow lights are all back. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this guy set back up. All right, guys, I have it hooked up. I have the device plugged in back here behind this furniture, and she's ready to go. Let's give it a test. So I am just gonna open the app, and I'm going to just turn it straight on from the app. Oh, we got her. We're gonna turn it off from the app. Then we're going to turn it on from the app. And then we're going to set it to 100%. Ooh, that's bright. So figure out how many bulbs there are. And there's the same amount on the other side. Multiply that by 5. And that's going to give you the total watts, which I think was over almost 300 watts when we last checked. And so we're going to keep it about 30%, I think. I think 30% is a good level. And so what it will do is just turn on every morning at 8 a.m. automatically using Home Assistant and turn off at midnight. And I have never had to replace one of these bulbs, even after it's been on all those hours every day for all those years. At 30% brightness, these bulbs seem to last almost indefinitely. Now, I think some of the color bulbs did blow out. And the funny thing about it is those color bulbs are not on nearly as much. They're only on during Christmas, really. We don't even put any special bulbs in for the fall, Halloween, or any other holidays. It's just Christmas. So now you have all the information you need if you want to build your own. I don't know if you hear that in the background, but that's my virtual pinball machine over there in attract mode, just playing sounds from various tables. So anyway. All right, so there it is, everybody. So if you want to go ahead and build your own, you now have all the information you need to be able to do it yourself. It's really simple. It's not very expensive. And pretty much all of the things that you need you can buy in the store. And the bulb sockets, probably have to find those online. Although, now you don't have to use that style bulb socket. For some of the other ones I've done, I used string lights, kind of like Christmas or not really outdoor string lights, but the same style bulbs, same base, except they're already in a string. And I just took those strings and I hot glued them into all the holes. And that seems to hold really well. I have never heard of anybody I made one for having any issues. You just don't want to go over 5 watts for the bulbs. And so I actually stick a sticker on the back of them when I give them to somebody else that says, do not exceed 5 watts per bulb and always use this style bulb. And that way they know not to stick a whole bunch of 100-watt bulbs in there and trip a breaker. So guys, I hope you enjoyed that. That was an easy one. It just happened to be a bad module, and all we had to do is get a new one. We moved it external, so it's easily accessible, so we should never have to open this guy up ever again. So I hope you guys like that, and as always, I want to thank you for watching. Kevin's Way Works.